Hi, my name is Jada Barnett, and I'm a recruitment team member with Team Refuge, and I'm here today with Beth Ridge. Beth, can you tell us your role on campus?
Yes, I am the undergraduate academic advisor for the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences.
Okay, awesome. What does your role, what's the description?
What that means is I work with all the students who are psychology majors, family studies majors, or organizational psychology majors. And as their academic advisor, I go with them from the start to the end. Every semester, those students meet with me and we talk about what classes you need. We organize your schedule, plan on if there's, wanting to graduate early, wanting to graduate at a different time, what it's going to look like to go to grad school, just all of the things in between. I'm kind of the first line of if you need anything academically. The students will come to me if they, for any problems, for any good stuff, just what kind of things they need to do with their schedules or classes, or I have it all planned from start to finish.
Okay, awesome. Do you do anything outside of your professional on campus?
I do. So my professional is only the academic advising. I only work about 10 hours a week doing that. And that's when I'm in the office doing those things. Or now during, social distancing time, I work from my deck right here most of the time. But I also I have a small group that meets in our house on Wednesday mornings for chapel, a small group chapel. And that is a group for women that we just normally do women's topics. Normally we meet at the beginning of the semester, and then the women in the group decide on what topics we want to do. But the main goal of our group is to just kind of grow together as a community of women in Christ.
Amazing. I bet that's so impactful for the women on campus to have that community.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It was one of those things that I didn't totally want to do when it kind of happened. I am definitely an introvert, and so having a group of people come to my house, I like doing that with small groups kind of thing. That's great, just a few people at a time. So the first semester I did it, there were 5 women that came, and that was awesome. It was just a really great group. The next semester I had around 60.
Oh wow, that's a big
that
jump.
showed up at my house. So that was just a really big jump of how to do that and having to talk in front of that many people totally freaks me out.
Yes.
So it was just a psych yourself up every Wednesday morning to have to get to talk to that many people.
Mm-hmm.
But I lead it, but I definitely don't. Like I said, it's more topics and it's more group kind of talk. So it's not like I get up in front of everybody and just lecture talk. It's more just group. What do we want to talk about today? Here's a topic. What do we think about it? And it's amazing. I learn so much from those groups.
Yes.
So it's great, and build just relationships that with students that have graduated and gone on. It's amazing.
Okay. So lasting connections.
Very much so.
Okay. That's nice. I found in quarantine community that we're all found community is so important. We are meant for community. So Have you missed that? Have you kept those connections going through quarantine? What has that looked like?
It has been difficult to do that with students. There have been some students that it's easier to do it with, but I have just trying to maintain all of my family stuff in quarantine has felt like that's definitely taken priority. So it has been harder. I've been able to maintain more with the students that I work with, and more that's because we're still doing advising, and
Right.
we quarantined before registration happened, so
Right.
it was trying to prepare. I was in the middle of meeting with all of the students, and then school let out and everybody went home, and so it was lots of phone call meetings and FaceTimed meetings, so that somebody's holding the phone up going, wait, I'm looking at this screen and it looks like this, what am I supposed to be doing? So just different, but doable. It, you know, it was good to be able to still get to communicate with everybody,
Right.
even during this.
As a student at Johnson, I think I love the hands-on advising process, even though I'm in a whole different school than where you are, but I love the hands-on, so it was a different adjustment being on the other end of it too.
Yeah.
But I really appreciated my advisor being so hands-on and, you know, getting on Zoom calls and making those the time to have those meetings. So
Yes. Yeah. That was it was difficult, but it was still important that we can get on and still do that.
Yes. Well, from all students, I'm sure we're all thankful for the advisors that we have here. So how did you and your family find yourself at Johnson?
We have been here for 13 years. We moved here in 2007, and we came here in a really roundabout way, I felt. Looking back, it's one of those completely God things that, you know, we ended up here in his timing. I guess it would be a better way to say it. We lived in Abilene, Texas, and we moved here actually because my husband Sean is the dean of the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, and he we came here for him to teach. He teaches in the grad program for that school, and so he works with students who are going into clinical mental health or school counseling. And we were in Abilene, and Sean was doing school, and a job from Johnson posted on their, you know, like their job listing site. And so he called and talked to someone and said, so you see this is there, you know, and it wasn't a job that ended up panning out. Like it didn't happen. So then a couple years later, somebody from Johnson called and said, hey, are you still interested in a job? You know, we have a job opening now. And Sean said, oh, actually, we were getting ready at that time. We had just resigned from our positions at the university where we were working in Texas, and we were on our way to move home to Ohio to help with some family stuff, to be caretakers for my grandmother while she was kind of in end stage of life. And we said, actually, we are making a move to Ohio. This is, you know, no, right now we're not interested in that. While we were in Ohio, Sean was teaching at another university as a one-year appointment. Sometimes schools will do like one-year teacher appointments if they're looking for a job, you know, looking for someone to be a full-time person. And we literally, Sean started doing that. They called and said, hey, we've got another job. You know, are you interested in this? This happened, you know, might you be interested? And he said, no, I just took this appointment. You know, I'm actually doing this now, and I'll be teaching here. And okay, oh, well, you know, just keep us in mind. So when that year appointment ended, and I guess I have to say, so Ohio is where we're from. That is where all of our family is. I grew up with a really close family, lots of, you know, like you did family all the time. All the cousins, all the aunts and uncles, every event was everybody kind of thing. And so I'd always wanted my kids to have that, you know, and just growing up with all of their family around. So when we moved from Texas to Ohio, that was huge for me. Like that was a great way to get to be home again and with all of that family. And so that's where I thought I was supposed to be. And it wasn't working out super great. There just weren't jobs that, you know, were what we needed. So we found out on a Monday that, you know, the one-year appointment was going to end at the end of that semester, and and we're like, okay, now we need to start thinking about what's next. Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? And that was kind of still fairly early in cell phone kind of usage. So, you know, Sean picks up his phone, and it was a couple days later, because, you know, we didn't like live with our phones all the time in our hand or our pocket, and he's like, oh, I have a call from Johnson called, you know, and he listens, and he just starts laughing, and I thought, oh no, and he says, they've got another job, they've got a job available, and they're wanting to know if I'll come down and interview. you know, the message was, you know, we don't know if anything's changed, but this is what's happening. We have a position. Are you interested? And me, I'm, I don't know, maybe a little more emotionally driven.
Same here.
But, so I had my very vocal argument with God right there of not doing it, not happening. No, I'm in Ohio. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is where we're raising our family. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. And he said, just think about it. It's okay. Think about it. Pray about it tonight. We'll talk about it in the morning. So he's much more rationally minded than I am sometimes. And so the next morning I literally just got up and I said, okay, you know, so I did. I prayed about it, and you know, I don't know that I slept, but apparently I did when I woke up. But it was all right. Fine, God, I will go and visit. We can do this interview. I will visit. I'm not gonna like it, and I'm not moving to Tennessee. And we came down and absolutely fell in love with it. It was just the school itself, but the community that it was. Something was super important to us when we were in Texas was living. We went to Sean and I both did our undergraduate. We were on a school about Johnson size, and one of our favorite things was being at our professors' houses. You know, sometimes the first day of class you'd meet at the professor's house, or you'd be there for Bible study, or you'd be there for whatever kind of things. And I loved that. And when we worked in Texas, we made sure we bought a house right on, you know, the edge of campus, right across from the intramural fields where students could be in and out, and loved it. And coming here and having that community built in, where they were like, oh no, you will live on campus. You know, that was at that time expected as faculty, full-time faculty. Housing was provided and you lived on campus. And it was just such a neat community, the way they came together and did things together, and all the, you know, when there's an event for the students to have a picnic lunch, and all the faculty and their families were there to do. And, you know, just getting to see that was amazing. Just kind of that built-in community where faculty, staff, and students were just all doing life together, not just school together.
Right.
Was, yeah, that just blew us away. And we're here. And that was 13 years ago. Yeah. So it was very long and roundabout, but that was just our, you know, looking back of God's timing and our timing, and it's been amazing.
That's so beautiful. I love that you can look back and see God's provision and God's plan, and even though we think, no, God, this is what I want and I need, he's like, no, I have something way better.
Yes. Not what my plan was, but it's obvious that it was the place we needed to be.
Yes. So you guys are in a unique situation where you guys do live in the heart of campus, basically. How is that raising a family and, you know, just living?
Yeah. So, you know, I wanted to do it, but then I wanted to have those real conversations with some of the other faculty members and people that were living on campus as to what's it really like. What is it really like when you raise your kids where with all these people that they are doing life together, but also your students, you know, what is that like? Am I living in a fishbowl? Mm-hmm. And so growing up, I knew that my kids might be somewhat like me and have a little bit of an attitude. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like when your teenagers come in not in their best attitude and slamming things and yelling and I'm living here with the people that I'm working with? Mm-hmm. Right. You know, what does that look like? Am I in the fishbowl if someone's like, oh my gosh, I really, you know, that was quite an argument last night, you know, as you're going into work the next morning, or what? And what I got from that, from the other people on campus, was we have all been there and we've all raised kids, and it doesn't matter what your kids do or what life turns into, that we're all there to do it together. And that was just overwhelming to know that. So, and that has been amazing because we have such a community that I know that if my kids are, something is going on, that's there is another parent out there that they're going to listen to that's like, why were you in the street? Or,
Right.
you know, what were you doing? You did not stop when that car started coming down the road, or, you know, you didn't look, or whatever kind of thing is going on. It's just this amazing community to be in and raise my kids in. So, and I have 4 kids that have just absolutely thrived in this community, and you know, they each have 20 moms, and and that's great because they do know that not only are those people going to take care of them, that they've got their back.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Like I said earlier, I'm an emotional person, so I'm like, hold back the tears.
Oh,
this is a huge community that you found, like, on a personal level and then on a professional level with students too.
Yeah,
that's just beautiful. I know as students we talk about the uncommon community that we have, and it's beautiful to see it translated into your guys' personal lives, because I know recruitment team members, we've said this is their home that we're coming into for the summer, as it's our home for 9 months out of the year, but this is their home for like forever. So we want to make sure like the kids feel comfortable and the parents feel comfortable, and that we're not overstepping the boundaries. So
we absolutely love that. Summer is such a it's so quiet. That's what, you know, they call it, okay, it's time for the big quiet. And that's kind of the, you know, it's as everyone moves out, and it's just like, and it's, you know, it's kind of nice and refreshing for a couple of days, and then it's like, where's everybody? You know, we're used to students being around all the time, and we're used to all of the things going on, and so when it's not, we miss you guys so much when you're not here over the summer. So honestly, it's been great as recruitment teams have been able to come in, and last month and this month, it's like, yay. You know, it starts to feel a little more normal, even, you know, whatever normal is right now, but you know, we're it's starting to feel a little bit more like that. And, yeah, just that excitement coming through next month as students get to come back is, we cannot wait.
I guess my last question is, as we are coming back into a new normal, is there any advice that you can give the students, how to maybe prepare, or something to hold on to as the changings might be challenging?
I don't know. I think just be flexible, because we just don't, nobody knows what we're getting into. I mean, and I think that's not just for the students, that's what we've all been trying to do and talking about, is just being flexible. Just go with whatever happens and whatever we need to do that day.
Right.
You know, if it changes and today we're able to do this and we're able to be together, and then, you know, the email might come out that night that says tomorrow it's going to be totally different, we need to do this. And we need to just go with it and do it however we can, the best way we can. But with the best attitude that we can, I think is going to be super important. And I think, you know, we've talked about that a lot, campus-wide community, faculty, staff kind of stuff, that, you know, our plan is to just model whatever that is. So, and hopefully, you know, and with freshmen coming in, some of the changes that are happening, it's hopefully the upperclassmen will be able to encourage some of that, and because they don't really know what is different,
Right.
you know.
Yes.
And it's like not knowing what's the norm and what's the new norm. But just kind of encouraging that as, it's okay, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing this, and this is what we need to do, I think is just super important for all of us to be flexible cheerfully.
Yes. Yes.
Don't just be flexible,
cheerfully.
be flexible cheerfully,
I love
and
that.
whatever happens, just go with it, and we can do it. Because I think we can. I mean, if we're doing it all together, there's no reason, you know, we'll be able to do it.
Yes. Flexible cheerfully. I'm gonna hold on to that. Well, thank you for sitting down with us today. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Stay tuned for more content that we're posting. I know TikTok's coming up sometime soon, so stay tuned.